I'm Mark Callan, Mr. Saltwater Tank. I'm here with Hilary, aka
Waterlogged.
Awesome, who also does some video series here on SaltwaterAquarium.com. We're going to mix things up a little bit for you today. We're going to have some fun. This is 20 questions with Hilary and Mark. Here's the thing. Neither of us know what questions we have. It's not like we've pre-screened this at all, so really anything could go. You get to ask first.
What is your favorite video that you've made, and you've made a lot, and why is it your favorite?
I would probably go back to the how to pick up women in a fish store, because when I made that video, no one knew who I was, and I was having to get sponsorships because I had no money. That's another story. But I would call people up and go, hey, I'm Mr. Saltwater Tank, have you heard of me? And if they would either go, you made the video about how to pick up women in a fish store, or they'd be like, no, I've never heard of you. I'd say, okay, I'm gonna email you this video, watch it, I'll call you back in 20 minutes. And it broke the ice and it was really great. So that was...
You actually emailed that to people?
Yep, I actually did. I don't think I could remake that video today, but if you want to give it a shot, okay.
I'll leave that to you.
What's your favorite fish, Hilary?
Ooh, that's easy. Cowfish.
Cowfish? Do you have a cowfish?
I used to have a cowfish.
In a reef tank?
No.
Your turn.
What has been your most stressful experience in aquarium keeping?
The time I got marine velvet in my tank. First, fish died for no reason that I just got, but I had a clownfish that I grew from little small to nice size. Those are maroon, so they get big. But I was watching it die. There's nothing I could do for it. I mean, I could put it out of its misery, euthanize it. That was the best I could do. So, and then on top of that, I was Mr. Saltwater Tank, so I had to go online and tell people why I'm tearing down my just built tank and get to explain it and put yourself out there in social media, which was more tame then than now, but still don't recommend it, quarantine everything.
Yes. Couldn't agree more, always quarantine.
Let's move into a different question for Hilary, since she went straight for the jugular. You can only have one tank for the rest of your life. What size is it and what's in it?
Is there any limitations?
Nope. But this is the only tank for the rest of your life.
And I can add new fish over time?
You gotta pick the size and what's in it, and that's it. You gotta roll with it.
I would say probably a 3,000 gallon tank. It would be a predator tank, but heavy emphasis on pufferfish.
Multiple puffers in this tank.
Yes, there's gonna be enough space for it.
This is true. You're gonna be able to keep these fish amused, like, you know, dog face that are like puppies.
Yes, 100%. Like, that's half the fun of having pufferfish. And like, hopefully it's big enough that I get to get in and take care of it.
So then you get bit by the pufferfish.
I've been bit by pufferfish, I'm not worried about it.
Love bites.
Exactly. I can't hold it against them, they're too cute.
I'll remember that when I get in trouble. You're next.
How does an introvert make it as a YouTuber?
See, this is a fun question because there's like this Disney video when there's a frog and he's really quiet and then he gets on stage and he like comes alive. So that's how I am.
Okay.
I'm actually like, I wouldn't say I'm an introvert, but like you put me in a room, I'm kind of like, I don't really want to be here type thing. One, you have to get used to the camera. It's a little weird when you turn on the camera and you look into this thing and you talk. Part of it too is just like people want to see you. They want to see your personality. They want to know what makes you fun. What do you enjoy about this? Just let that show and the rest will follow.
I feel like you do a really good job of letting your personality out on your videos, so kudos.
Back in the day when I started, I was like, oh, I have to have everything right, and the tank has to always look right, and I have to say it right. And then I was like, at some point, I'm like, you know what? People just want to see you. Like, if your tank's a little dirty, show it. If your fish get marine velvet and you got to tear the whole thing down, show it. Like, you're real. Sometimes things go wrong in this hobby. You know that, and it's like, show that. Talk about that.
I'm still getting to that point. Like, I'm still like, oh, it has to be scripted. Like, it has to look nice and pretty. And
these days on YouTube, you can get away with murder. Is life more like a box of chocolates or a box of mystery pack corals from SaltwaterAquarium.com?
It's got to be mystery corals.
And why?
I'm a chocolate person. I don't know that I've ever met a piece of chocolate that I don't like, so it's going to be a win-win if I have a box of chocolates.
White chocolate, dark chocolate, milk, what's your thing?
Dark chocolate. Yeah. I like dark chocolate. I mean, yeah. I would still say, like, if you get a mixed coral pack from Saltwater Aquarium, there might be something that you don't love in there.
You still got coral.
It's true. You still have coral. What is your favorite cleanup crew member?
The big green serpent stars. Because they get like this big end to end and kids love them. And I have a spouse that named one the Kraken, and when it died, he built a funeral, like a Viking ship funeral pyre, and he lit it on fire in his pool and like sent it out there.
That's awesome.
Epic. If you could only have a freshwater tank for the rest of your life, could you ever be happy again?
Oh, yes.
Your turn.
What would you say your biggest pet peeve is when it comes to aquariums?
People with it too much. Leave the damn thing alone.
Don't mess with it.
Set it up well, and yes, you have to monitor it, like test your water, right, Dad? But like, you don't have to get in there and fiddle with stuff. You don't have to nitpick every little thing. It's an ecosystem. Set up lots of these things, set it up, let it do its thing, find out what it's like, and just give it that.
Okay. Part 2. How long would you say, like, you want to set it up, but how long, what is that period of time in setting it up that you can just like, okay, it's good, it's dialed in, now I can walk away?
Usually I tell clients it's about a year. First year, it's gonna mature, it's gonna kick and scream. It's like a young kid. One moment it's great, the next moment it's off the chain crazy and you don't know why. So it's gonna go through these phases, just let it roll, we'll roll through it, and then for the most part, they get locked in, you know what it likes, you give it what it's like, and it just goes.
Fair enough.
Who is crazier, cat people or saltwater aquarium people?
Yeah, I think saltwater aquarium people.
Really?
Yeah.
What about crazy cat woman or crazy saltwater aquarium woman?
What?
That's not a question, it doesn't count. Your turn.
What is your least favorite nuisance in an aquarium?
Bryopsis.
Boom, done.
If someone opened up the stand under your tank and examined what they saw, what conclusions could they make about you and your life?
Next.
That's potentially the greatest question I've ever asked. You're gonna have to answer that one day.
Okay. Probably that maybe I'm lazy or a little bit cluttered and disorganized.
See?
I'm going to be completely honest. One of the things I was looking forward to with my new tank is, and the reason I picked the size I did is because it was going to have the biggest stand and it's going to have the most space. But I have so much fish stuff, it's not even funny. Like, there's fish stuff underneath the stand, there's fish stuff in the corner, there's fish stuff in the other corner. Like, granted, my office is the fish room, but also, like, I've got fish stuff in storage outside. I've got fish food in the refrigerator. I've got, it's everywhere. So maybe that I have a problem and I have too much fish stuff.
I don't think that's a problem.
What would you tell somebody who is really, really frustrated and is ready to give up?
Don't quit.
Why should they not quit?
You gotta push through it.
Why?
One, you oftentimes learn a lot from it. And then that can be a huge launching pad for the next level of whatever it is, or even just keeping the tank, bringing it back to something that you enjoy. I tell people it's like a relationship. If you're going through a love part in a relationship, like short of like abuse, your tank doesn't abuse you, by the way. You might think so, it doesn't. You gotta lean into it. You gotta give it more effort, more time. You gotta push through it.
That's bullshit. 'Cause I text you and you don't reply, or you say, hey, good luck.
Because the first question I asked Jimmy, which we'll now ask Hilary, because Jimmy never has an answer.
Oh boy.
How often do you test your tank's water parameters?
Don't like that. So there was a while, I would say actually since the end of the last show season, so say Reefapalooza New York 2024, that I was religiously testing my water parameters every single Friday. Like, that's just what I did. That being said, travel season has started again, and with working at the aquarium, I've been a little bit lax. So it's probably been a month since I've tested.
You and Jimmy are gonna get along really well in this Predator Tank series. With that,
I tested in January, dude. It's right on my Hydros app. I keep it as a static input.
I was gonna be late for the plane because I wanted to run a nitrate test on my tank,
What a
just to be
nerd.
sure.
What a nerd.
With that, this concludes 20 questions-ish with Hilary and Mark. We'll catch you next time. Thanks, Hilary, for being a good sport.
This was fun.
We'll do it again. Let's go. In Texas, we're gonna go eat some barbecue.